Hey there, Commanders. Welcome to another exciting Steel Division 2 10 vs 10. I'm your host, Too Old for Gaming, and today we're playing on Brest West. I'm testing out the rebalanced Soviets in the 43rd Reserve Army. I'll be focusing on this sector over here, and I am supported by a couple of the guys in the Discord server. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, I highly recommend you do. We have a ton of fun playing together. And it definitely makes it easier to win when you can coordinate strategy. So my initial thoughts here were to set up defenses here with some SG-43s and M42s. I've got some auto Shrapnikis coming in, but we're getting a bunch of rocket fire. And if you guys haven't heard of Steel Division 2, it's amazing. I would say the best real-time strategy multiplayer game on the market. I know that there's other ones that are more tactical, but if you want something on a larger scale with real units, that's a ton of fun to replay. Definitely pick up this game. So my M42s are starting to fire at all the half tracks down here. SG-43 getting in on the action, firing at the MG-42. Not to be confused with the M42. So we lose one M42, and our autos have to be dropped out in the middle of the road, so they are taking direct fire. Our SG-43 is having to walk over to his position, but our Su-122 with his big cannon coming up to the front line here, along with a T-34-76 Recon. If you guys haven't hit the subscribe button and you enjoy my content, please do. It definitely helps get it out to more people. YouTube likes it when there's good engagement on videos. I know a lot of you guys watch my videos. If you guys could like or subscribe, it would really help me get this out to a broader audience. So our autos getting caught out here, might die off. Our AT guns are gone, but we have captured the flag. Zooming out, I'm putting in a 85mm anti-aircraft gun here. It's dual purpose, so we can knock out any vehicles. There's also an SG-43 back there. To our right, Scipio's got this lane covered with the Americans. He's moving an M5 gun in here to cut them off, but the Nebel warfare fire is non-stop, might knock out his unit. Oh no, he's going for the town. So our rifles teams are suppressed, but we have captured the town. It's a 16-12 right now. Half-track running out in the open, should die here very soon. But a Pak-40, two of them, firing on one dude's M8s. Martyr gets penned by the 6-pounder and knocked out, but the Pak-40 is returning fire down a man. So with these guys being this suppressed, we've been pushed off the flag. If their suppression goes back down, then we'll get that flag back without having to do anything. Yak-9B coming in, trying to bomb the Pak-40, but getting pushed away by anti-aircraft fire and eventually shot down. Fortunately, no friendly units there to get hit by the falling plane. Panther D up at the front line. Over here to my left, we got Johnny AI Knoxville, another man on our server in this match, using those M2A1s to good effect against a Pioneer team. They can also damage those half tracks and eventually knock them out, but it will take a minute. We've got CPU Easy down here, holding off 251/9Ds. These guys are pretty good, but they really... They chew through ammo really fast, but they're only 20 points. BF-109, G6R1, trying to drop some bombs on the spotters? No, on the Staghounds. And he misses, but they do retreat. This is a tremendously good position for us. We've pushed into their sector here. This part's usually quite challenging. If you're newer too, and you haven't watched some of the prior videos, they're still relevant. Check out some of the videos I put out in the last year. You'll encounter different strategies for these maps to work through with different divisions. I brought up an 82mm mortar. It doesn't have a radio, but we're in relatively close. I mean, if we were to go for that Pak-40, we're under 2,000 meters, but we've got a friendly player attacking them right now. And I've got Shrapnikis heading to the front line with more reconnaissance. Our T-34 is still alive, but I can't really view down the road because he'll get hit by the AT guns. So a third Pack 40 is set up over here. He did bail out our T-34-76 and then eventually knocked the tank out. I did retreat the SU-122. Wanted to hold on to him. I get 2 of those in Phase A. And nothing really else to kill like a Panther. Panzergrens with Panzerschrecks being caught out in the open. Those things are expensive. Well, actually, wow. Okay, well, 25 points. Holy cow, that is a killer deal. What division is that? And that's with Panzer Lear. I think Panzer Lear is OP. They can absolutely crush. So, a little bit of a precarious situation over here with F-Bit and Bad Kill. Bad Kill's also in chat with us. The enemy pushing through, making a very strange front line happen here. I'm going to have to send some troops over to help them out eventually. On the left in the forested area, the commandos are in full control, which is kind of what I would expect. He's got his forces spread really far. It's 10 on 10. F-Bit seems to be everywhere. M3 howitzer firing at probably a recon team here or an MG42. Takes out 3 men. Should be able to finish them off here with the next shot. SG43 was taking fire, so I'm retreating him. And I brought up more of these M42 45 millimeters and more Shrapniki. Wanted to get some submachine gun teams in here to prevent my SG43 from being assaulted. Same with the M42, because they can rush through here. More Nebelwerfers on the town flag, but the rifles teams from the beginning still there. SU-122 getting sight on that MG-42 has already committed a few casualties against them, and he should wipe them out here. Yak-9B goes down again to the flak, and the flak 43s are very accurate. I think they fire quicker and are more accurate than the older 37, and so they end up being quite deadly. Enemy off-map coming towards us now, a 172.5. I would guess that he got it in and it'll go here or here, but we'll have to wait a second to see. Sturm shoots and trying to take out the rifles team, but the rifles team able to kill them off. M1 Garands are just amazing. Not that MP44s aren't, but they're pretty awesome. They'll surprise you. More MG42. So this, our opponent here has spent a lot in setting up defensive weapons, but we have pretty decent artillery here. So we're just chipping away every time we spot something. Won't be able to use air power until we knock out those flak 43s, though. So this Pack 40 is almost killed off. I think we've killed all 3 at this point. But we still have to deal with a Panther D. And that MG42 will be going down here shortly. BF-109 G6 getting back in a second time, but doesn't get his bomb load off this time. Flying over 50 cals. He's smoking, and he goes down. I have a terrible time keeping BF-109s alive. I don't even call him in. 1 versus 1 is such a different game. You don't have the AA nets. They're definitely worth picking up in 1 versus 1, but on a 10 versus 10, you really need something with better resilience. And the if you haven't used them, or if you didn't read it, the JU-87s got moved up from bad to medium resilience, so definitely worth testing out, even though they fly quite slow. So Cav Scouts getting caught out here, but the M18 Hellcats stick the turret on the Panther D. Let's zoom in on these guys. I'm sure they'll knock him out here shortly. Reloading. Oh, man, he gets smoked by the Panther. Can his partner kill him off? No, he bounces, and he's out of APCR. One of those Pack 40s was still up, by the way. We just saw it. You can see the enemy artillery back here. So the Hellcat probably going to stick behind now without the APCR rounds to get through the front armor on that Panther D. We've got another tank up here. Probably another Panther, but could be something else. Cav Scouts will just die out unless he does a fallback command. I'm bringing back in these IL-2 KRs just to keep testing their air defense. So if you want to try to do this with a recon, I think using recon planes that are good resilience, like he is very good. He's likely not to get shot down, especially at this distance. And so I'm just drawing fire to know where his flak guns are. So we've got a flak 43 here, and then there was one over here, and something else too. Panther gets fired on by another Hellcat who has APCR, but he is not knocked out. Let's see. He's looking pretty rough, and his partner over here is fresh from the factory still. The Su-122 has heat shells. I got 2 of them left. It used 3. They only go 1,500 meters, but they can pen 160. So I could take out those Panthers in an ambush. They're not very accurate, though. Hellcat is destroyed. He trades with the Panther. I have my second Su-122 up here. Maybe not in the best spot, but if he's trying to move his Panthers through, I guess I get more than 5 heat shells. At least 6. You should be able to knock him out if he tries to come through. There's a T-34-85 blocking his way, so we'll see. I'm moving him back into cover. That was not a good spot for him. And because we've cleared most of this out and there's no more MG-42s that we can see, I'm going to move the 85mm DP gun up. The Panther 8 does get knocked out by this IS-2 from Bad Kill here. Bad Kill, you know, stretched across the map as well because he has units over here. So enemies primarily pushing through this road here into our area. Everything else is going well for us on the Allies. And if we look at the score, it's 14-14, so an even match here in Phase B. Now, what artillery? We've got 120s back here in the F-22s. F-22 also can be used for anti-tank. I brought in a second recon T-34. Our rifles teams from Scipio are clearing out these Panzergrunds who are going to lose to him because he has a BAR and they cannot use their MG-42s that close. 6-pounder misses his first shot on the half-track and then loses sight. I'm going to try using my second 82mm mortar to shell the Flak 43. I do have some good planes. I got some IL-4s in this with those massive rockets. They do 10,000 blast, which is insane. So we'll be able to get those in later in the match. IL-2 coming back in just to test their AA defense. And a Yak-9B behind him from Johnny AI Knoxville. And he gets his cluster bombs off on the Panther D this time. Knocks him out. Huge win for us there. Will he make it out alive, though? Our hero appears to be getting away with it. And you can see the second AA piece right there. T-34 is getting nailed with his Nebelwerfer fire and is destroyed. Dealing with a couple Stug 3Gs, but even a Sherman can get through those, so I'm not worried too worried about them. M3 howitzer though gonna die here in the next shot to this Pac 40. So many Pac 40s, holy cow! I love Pac 40s too, but I've seen a lot of Pac 40s. IL-237's coming in, blow up the Panzer IV, but an FW-90 on their tail. Forced off by the anti-aircraft net from the Allies. IL-2 is still floating around here. And he's going to want to get out of there. There's multiple very accurate 37mm AA guns back there. He might just eke out in time. And he does. Our colleague over here has been killed off through this sector. So we've been pushed by them down this road here. We don't have any, they must have blown up any AT guns, machine guns, because normally you'd put in an AT gun here, an AT gun here, heavy machine gun, anti-aircraft. That's how I would usually do it. None of that's there. I'm assuming that they would have done that and it's been blown up. So I brought in 2 T-34-85 43s. I could bring in 44s. But this is a congested area. There's no reason for me to spend the extra money on a 44 model if we're going to be working in close here. And I brought in the M2 half-track with the Tankos. I figured we could try and clear this area out. I didn't think that the Axis had many infantry units in this town. So with the fire support down here and these squads, we should be able to get these 2 flags back. Now, as we've been moving around, I am continuing to increase my defensive effectiveness. I've got a Maxim set up here now and a Zis 3. Unfortunately, we've got more rockets coming in, and the first rocket hits the Maxim, blowing him to smithereens. I brought in my own artillery. Now, this deck does not get a whole lot of artillery. I want to say I've got 120s in B and 82s in A. I don't think there's any howitzers. I may be not thinking about that correctly, but 120s are the best thing I've got based on memory. So we're going to use those against the Axis here. Start off with 30 rounds, and we've got more Nebelwerfer fire. Lately, people have been obsessed with using Nebelwerfers in 10 versus 10. So, lots of rocket fire. IS-2 taking fire from the Gorilla. Not a great matchup for that Gorilla. He's going to die if he gets that first shot off. He does. I don't think... Is he damaged? Is he going to be damaged? No, he's looking all right here, so... But those are likely Panthers or Panzer IVs. Oh, no, what? Vespies. These guys can't... No, they don't have anti-tank. Interesting. Thought they did. Our 120 has already been counter-batteried. Apparently, he did not like me shelling this area because those are the first rounds we got off. Zis 3 is dueling the PaK 40. We're very suppressed, but Zis 3s can really chip away like OB-25s. Actually, the HE rate of fire is 10 rounds a minute. I know the OB-25 is faster, but for a pseudo field gun, I think they're pretty good against infantry. I can find an OB-25. We'll see what the rate of fire is. They're probably 15. 10's still pretty good, though. Panzer IV and Guerrillas in here firing at infantry caught out in the open. Definitely don't want to walk these guys in, but the Guerrilla is killed off. And it looks like we've managed to just stabilize everything over here. We're still off this flag, but we're winning because we've got this intersection up here. And we managed to push up. This is very hard. It's very easy. I would say it's very easy to defend this area. You can set up infantry anti-tank in here, and you have crossfire from other buildings and over here, and you can set up AT guns and stuff. So trying to assault up this road is very hard and very rare to succeed, in my opinion. So Johnny AI Knoxville set up an SU-152, and it looks like we've got some Fireflies. And one dude's pack hunting with a ton of Hellcats. Now, this is fantastic for killing tanks, but if we get rocket fire artillery, it is so disheartening to see all of them die immediately. We'll see if these are coming for that and how many he loses if they are. He's very lucky. They're going for the infantry up here. And he wisely retreats from his position after killing that tank. Black 43 getting spotted by the M5 up here, and we've got armored rifles heading to the front line. I have a T-34-85 with a stuck turret up here. We missed the duel, and I brought in a new Maxim just to kill off any other of his machine guns or prevent any infantry from trying to come across. They haven't... Honestly, they have kind of lobbed some equipment at us and a lot of rockets. They haven't put together any real great tactics on the enemy team to advance on us using smoke or using like moving barrages or off map to suppress everyone. Black 43 is killed, so we killed one of them off. Remember, there's one over here, and then there was another unit. We can see his commander, so I brought in the Isle Force because we killed off that area and these guys have very, very good resilience. So if we can get a rocket off, they have a pretty far range. He gets his rocket off. But they missed because he was so suppressed. So once we call these back in, we should be able to take out Nashorns with that pretty easily because they're open top. And again, the explosions on those rockets are stunning. Long Tom's getting counter battery. I would say that these have really helped us out as well. P-47 coming in to try and take out the FW-190, who is planning on intercepting me. Thank you, one dude. Fortunately for us, he turned away. I have pushed a Sapri Rocks team up here, too. They have dual DPs, so even at medium range, not awful, but we are facing a lot of high-caliber guns, so I'll have to move them out of their house here in a second. This area looks like it got rocketed. Our 85 is running low on ammo. They're shooting a lot more than I thought. And both our T-34s are still alive here. We have captured our flag back. It's 17:11 with 6 minutes on the tick timer. And now Bad Kill is gonna try to get into their forested area. So here are good tactics. Bad Kill is using smoke to block the enemy's sight lines and getting in not just one unit, but a platoon plus of units. The only thing I see lacking here would be a leader, but he has a leader tank here. So if he can advance the tank forward to give them some veterancy, that'd be helpful. Infantry leader would be better, but just doing a good job. Like, this is what you want to do. He's blocking off the enemy sight lines, using his cheap howitzers. These are like 40 points, right? Oh, 60. Using the smoke from them to get into the enemy area, and should be able to wipe anything out in here. And we're doing the same over here with Scipio and Rangers. Now one dude's pack of M18s are advancing on the enemy tanks, who are spotted by these Ranger Marauders down here. Does anybody know the maximum sight distance of a unit in this game? I still haven't been able to figure that out. So let's say we've got a Ranger Marauder unit. Can it see beyond 2,000 meters? Is it like 2250? I'm not sure. I feel like they can't really see further than that. If you have a table of it, somebody posted the table of the pen values. That was awesome. Thank you, whoever did that in the last video. If you know the sight values, I'd love to understand that. It would make it a lot easier for me to understand where to put my reconnaissance teams to get battlefield information. I just don't know how far they can actually see. So I'm trying to slide by his heavy tanks over here with my recon vehicle because it has a 50 cal on it. My SG-43 is firing at these guys, so he's taking direct fire. Black 43 is still up here, and then another AA gun. SG-122 has ran out of heat shells, so he's been firing at other vehicles. He still has 30 high explosive shells left. And I'm very curious to see how these M18 Hellcats do. M42 is knocked out, I'm assuming, by a Tiger. And our recon, because of this recon truck, we spot his reconnaissance team. So it looks like we needed to be within 500 meters with very high optics to spot him. IL-2-37 cannot make it in past the anti-aircraft. However, the Hellcats are on target now, and they're going to kill him, and we're going to be down to 1, which means I can call in my IL-4s again. They're both being repaired right now, but it's going quickly. Under 4 minutes on our timer here. I'm trying to move my SG-43 forward. They're spotting these Panzergrens over here. And it looks like one dude brought in a resupply truck to give them all APCR. So they're reloaded with 2 more rounds each. These guys should be very scared of what's heading their way. You can see enemy artillery back here. My IL-2 flying free now. Ed kills IL-2 coming in and doing a strafe run on the Tiger E. He does not kill him, but damages the transmission. Still getting fire from anti-aircraft over here. Looks like he moved from where my attack beacon was due to artillery. M18 Hellcats cleaning up those Tigers. And we can see the Vespies out in the back. SU-122, maybe a little too aggressive getting in here. Remember, we had some Nashorns. Another Tiger goes down to the endless assault by the M18 Hellcats. SU-122 gets penned by a Nashorn and destroyed. L2 coming back in, along with the IL-4s to try and get those rockets off on the enemy position here. Looks like we destroyed a truck, and we destroyed 2 Vespies and a 3rd. Excellent run by our aircraft here. Sturm shoots and getting obliterated by Hellcats. And this is totally shut down. We're down to about 2 minutes to go here. We're going to target the anti-aircraft system so we can keep this totally clear. We did just lose a 120mm mortar to counter battery. Vespi shooting at my SU-122. I don't think they're going to win that match. How much armor do they actually have? They actually have 30 mils of armor on the front. But still, they're going to die. Another one gets blown up over here. Was that the Yak 9B from Johnny AI Knoxville? Maybe. WW2 trying to come in to strafe the Hellcats in their open top. Goes to the M2 half-track supply and knocks out about 14,000 points there in terms of resupply. I've got motorized Razvedka teams over here. I popped them out of the car for a second, then I realized, oh, they can't do anything about the car, so let's go back in so we don't lose them. And we wipe this area out. Opel Blitz is wiped out. Another munitions truck is wiped out. Scipio's got all his infantry up here. I've got my infantry moved in. We've got the flag here. Way back in the enemy zone. We're spotting some Nebelwerfers back here. And friendly artillery takes out 2 vehicles. Oof, that might have been an artillery vehicle. Enemy command tank still up. Not sure if we'll be able to get that here in the last minute of the game. My IL-2KR has spotted what appear to be some Nebelwerfers back here. We're going to go in for a strafing run. Let's zoom in on this guy. And those 23mm cannons still got 120 shells. Manages to kill off everything. So I saw 2 Nebelwerfers go down. And then our IL-4s knock out the other Nebelwerfers over here. All the supply trucks. Now, one thing I noticed when reviewing the stats, if you do blow up enemy equipment with an explosion of their ammo truck, it doesn't give it to you. We'll see it's missing. The IL-4, he gets shot down by the FW-190s here in the last 10 seconds. So we got a P-47 dueling F-190s. Knights of the Sky up here. But the match ends before we see any more action with a minor victory for us. After 28 minutes and 3 seconds, we've captured 19 out of 28 objectives. Taking a look at the team stats here, organizing it from top kills. We got second place for kills, right below CPU Easy. And then beyond that, Scipio with us on Discord doing well. Johnny A in Knoxville, same, Discord doing well. One dude doing well on Discord with me. Bad kill, still a double kills to death ratio, even though it's a little less. So overall, the guys working together did great. Let's see what killed everything. The SU-122 took out a lot of light stuff. Our Razvedka, same thing with half tracks. Zenart 85mm takes out a Stuk 4 leader and then a bunch of infantry, no aircraft. SU-122 takes out more infantry, T-34 85s. These 2 were the ones I set in the town. I don't think they ever died. They killed 2 mobile wagons and a 9D and some infantry. This is the one that was on the right side of the map looking down the road. He took out a lot of stuff. IL-2, see, it just gave me the munitions truck. It did not give me the Nebelwerfer kills, even though we saw them killed. Vespies got knocked out by our IL-4s, and this other IL-4 it gave me the kills for these 2 Nebelwerfers. With that one, loss-wise, just one-off stuff. MG42s at the beginning and the PAC-40 at the beginning, but everything else was just sort of one-off. Experience-wise, we killed 12%, 9% of the casualties. Guys, I really hope you liked that one. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.